everybody. I've been sitting here trying to write a post this morning and it's just not flowing, so I thought I would pop on a video and record this, my very first one, to see how this feels. I've really been experimenting a lot with media and social media specifically, and feeling my way through how I'm comfortable communicating. So here we go. I was trying to write today. This is kind of inspired by today's weather. It's Sunday here, and we were not expecting rain, and so our plans got soggy. And it was a funny moment because we weren't expecting rain. It wasn't in the forecast, and my husband was checking his phone and was just saying that. He was just like, wasn't supposed to rain today, this wasn't in the forecast. And he looked at his phone and he's like, it's still not saying it's raining. And we kind of laughed and looked at each other because it is raining. And it really occurred to me that we often ignore the reality of the world and live in our heads and in our concepts about what things should look like and how things should be. And then when we don't measure up, or when things don't measure up, a lot of times we all have this wound that we carry inside that, we're flawed, that we must be wrong if we're not measuring up to what the expectations were, for everything from a Sunday picnic to, maybe how our careers go or our families. And we get kind of broadsided because we live in this conceptual world instead of really grounding ourselves in the phenomenal world, the way things actually are. And I remember when my son was little, he would cry if his blocks fell over. And it's a common experience, right, as a parent, to have your little one crying. And we used to talk about how it was in the nature of the blocks to fall. It was in the nature of the blocks to get knocked over. And that to, really struggle with that is a lot like, standing at the base of a tree on a beautiful fall day and yelling at the tree for dropping its leaves, right? Or yelling that the weather app was not what we were experiencing, that it set up this expectation. And I guess I just want to talk about that for a minute because I've seen how damaging this wound, this idea that we're flawed as a human being if things are not going the way we expected things to go. And I just really want to people have said this forever, but just talk about how firmly affirm that if you are human, you can't do human wrong. And to ask ourselves, what we need, or how to be with a situation, and how to be with the phenomenal world, with what we're experiencing, whether it's suffering or challenge or, whatever, is so much more helpful than having to swim through, miles of being dispirited, because instead of starting with what we're experiencing and moving up, we crush ourselves with this idea that we're flawed, or that there must be something terrible about us. So, it's like, here's the rainy Sunday, and we can make adjustments from here, right? We can plan a different day, or get creative about how to have our picnic on the porch or whatever, or at a pavilion, or, just get creative, find a way to work with the world, with all of its limitations, surprises, which could also be magic and mystery, right? But instead what happens is things don't line up, and we get crushed. We get crushed and brought down by this energy of what's wrong with me, how am I failing as a human being? And it causes so much unnecessary suffering And it's already hard enough, right? It's already hard enough being human with its struggles and its negotiations and its, real needs and work, right? So to not have to buy into that idea, to not misinterpret the ow of disappointment or surprise that things are not going the way we thought that they were going to go, to not misinterpret that as there's something really wrong with me. This is hard enough without having to be crushed by that. So I hope you enjoy your day. It's Sunday for me, and I'm gonna go try and get creative about reclaiming my Sunday and working with the rain instead of being pissed off at it. And wherever you are today, I hope that maybe you're doing the same.